And then Dracula says, I christen you Blackula. And then they cut to the credits. And I wish they would just hold like 4 seconds longer so you could hear Blackula go, what the fuck did you say my name was? Just to watch Dracula backpedal. Well, clearly, as the king of vampires, I come from a place of privilege, and I probably didn't realize what I meant. And then Joe Rogan would get mad at Dracula for backpedaling. I'm really disappointed with Dracula. I don't really. But we have tonight a star-studded list of guests. Who canceled. But we have some other people to fill in. Kane Hodder could not be here. Jason Voorhees himself, Kane Hodder, could not be here tonight. Kane is famous for playing a character who wears a mask and he doesn't say anything. How hard is that audition? If you can walk into the audition, that's the audition. Now, I'm not saying that that character could be played by just anybody. I'm saying that character could be played by literally anybody. But he couldn't be here tonight. Apparently, the only way to get Jason Voorhees not to return is to actually expect him to be someplace. Jeffrey Combs. Now, you have to remember, we're all friends. Tonight you'll hear jests and japes that come from the heart. If you really don't like someone, you don't say anything about them. So you don't have to go, we're all friends. A very good friend of mine, the great Jeffrey Combs. Yes. Jeffrey could not be here this evening. Jeffrey got a better offer, and by better I mean Anne. But Jeffrey played over 8 different characters on Star Trek. I say that in case you were wondering who it was in Hollywood that has a photo of Gene Roddenberry fucking a horse. Sharon Glass could not be here tonight. Please do not storm the exits. Sharon became famous on the show Cagney and Lacey, which was a primetime cop show that taught America an important lesson. There are some lesbians you can't jerk off to. It's true. The voice of the bride of Chucky, Jennifer Tilly, could not be in attendance this evening. Jennifer could not be here because she is independently wealthy. Jennifer made her money the old-fashioned way. She married a rich guy without a prenup. No, I'm kidding. Jennifer worked very hard for her money. She married a rich guy without a prenup. But let us talk about the people who actually could not get out of it and are here tonight. Ironically, the first person who is here tonight couldn't be here tonight. Ted Raimi, who I like to refer to as a less blurry version of Sam Raimi, apparently has a foot injury. I've never heard that one before. But so he sends his regrets, but all of our Ted Raimi jokes are already written. So, in the role of Ted Raimi tonight, please welcome Nick Sahoya, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ted. And look, I don't want to brag, but everybody else who I'm about to introduce is really here. Please welcome folk music favorite, Peaches Christ. Please welcome the girl with the guy's name, Dana DiLorenzo. America's next door neighbor, Kevin Pollak. The only guy that got the memo. That was the Dean Martinest thing I've ever seen.
Milk it, baby.
What a pleasure to introduce the lovely and talented mistress of the dark herself, Cassandra Peterson.
Did I go the wrong way?
The other mistress of the dark, David Allen Greer. And now, there are certain
Mayday.
people that there are certain people, when you meet a lot of people in the business, and you're like, oh yeah, I met him, yeah, he was cool. Yeah, I worked with him, he was cool. And there are certain people that you work with and you're like, holy shit, I'm working with, and
I'm already out here. I'm already out here.
I mentioned you first. There's certain people, you meet them and then. But our next guest was one of those people for me. I was calling him, I am in a movie with Bruce Campbell. I don't know what to do. He is, and I have to tell you, he is everything you want him to be. He is all that and more. He's so American. It's like an eagle had sex with a pie. He's handsome, but just not. He's like a handsome man's reflection in a puddle. He couldn't be more of who he is if he wanted to. He's everything you want him to be. I'm so proud that I know him. Please welcome the beloved Mr. Bruce Campbell.
Good night, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I'd like to first give a shout out to Sydney Goldstein. No shit, without her, this would still be a space full of dusty file boxes and crumbling furniture with no seats or sound. So thanks, Sid. Here it is, 97 years later. Always support the ancient creaking theaters because they will tear them down if you don't support them. So thank you for supporting this creaky, leaky theater. Yes. You know, big thanks to Dana Gould for being our roast master tonight. You know, we've actually worked together, but more on that later. You know, it's funny, when I heard I was going to get roasted tonight, I didn't really know what they meant, so I got roasted in the alley. I thought that's what this was. I'm sorry. But I must admit, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little disturbed that people would show up tonight and pay to see me roasted in agony. Yeah, that's another matter. It is great to be here at Sketchfest with you all in person. I'm hoping that most of us are disease-free tonight. Yep, good sign. Good news, aside from having COVID twice, most of my diseases were from the 70s. So you should be safe. According to Dr. Fauci, the baby boomer diseases don't really interact with the Gen Z diseases. We tried to confirm that with Dr. Fauci, but he was in Wuhan opening a new super virus infection center. So we couldn't confirm that. So.
That's what that feels like.
We're here for a roast tonight. Ha ha ha! Yeah! Yeah! Who's the poor bastard, I wonder? You know, I had to ask myself, why would I show up at an event where a bunch of clearly ruthless entertainers are going to spare no ill will, savaging my career, not to mention my character? Why? Alimony. It's a word that makes me say yes over and over and over. Will you look at this panel tonight? I gotta tell you, this isn't a roast, it's a police lineup. And look, it's not like we didn't try and get the big names. Clooney, Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, they all passed. Some shit about obligations, ankle bracelet bullshit, you know, whatever. I also asked myself another question. Why would these people take time out of their busy lives and blossoming careers to harass me for no apparent reason? Have I wronged them in some way? Grabbed their ass 30 years ago, perhaps? Screwed them out of a part in Maniac Cop 2? Why, you ask? Why would they be here tonight? Alimony. It's a word that makes them say yes over and over. Now that we all know why we're here, I think I should explain something to you. What you are about to witness tonight is fiction. This is not some reality show, which are scripted, by the way. This is a bunch of thespians and lesbians, comedians, impersonators, hucksters, and hooligans who are going to be weaving grandiose tales tonight. Think of them like your local political action committee. You can't believe a fucking word out of their mouth. You think actors make up all those clever lines in movies and TV shows? think again. Clark Gable didn't make up the line, "Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn." Not a chance, Lance. He just wanted a line of dialogue that didn't have too many S's because his dentures weren't fitting right. Same goes for me. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. I'm paying for these shitty jokes. Now, before you hear from our panel tonight, I just want to remind you that entertainers and credibility don't always go hand in hand, do they? Randy Quaid is a great example of this. Oh yeah, he was going to be here tonight, but he was abducted by aliens. So you're going to hear some insults tonight. Some crazy shit. Because that's the nature of the beast, and I'm supposed to sit here getting shit-faced on liquid death while my peers of equal infamy tear me apart. So, if that's the way you want to play it, that's fine, but be warned. As Jack Nicholson once said, the roastee always gets the last chance to cook the roaster's goose. Let's begin, shall we?
Thank you very much. And what a pleasure it is to see a heterosexual man in an ascot. As a kid, you grew up watching Hollywood Squares and game shows, and you just thought there were straight guys and then just guys that wore ascots. You grew up watching the Dean Martin roast. We should all be drunk already, smoking, jacked up on coke, just doing old Carson. Bruce's first job in show business was as a butt rouger at a baboon mortuary. A joke I stole from Gary Owens, and I say that right to Kevin Pollak. But we are all here tonight to roast with love and respect and affection Bruce Valanche. But Bruce had to cancel, and we got Bruce Campbell, and fortunately, most of these jokes will still work. Bruce occupies a very rare and special place on our dais tonight. He is the only man here who owes Sam Raimi more than Ted does. As you all know, as fans of Bruce's, he is known for his incredibly wide range. He can play not only people who look like him, but people who look and act like him. Baboon mortuary. Baboon mortuary. Bruce is beloved, of course, more than anything, for his iconic role in the Evil Dead trilogy of films. Well deserved. In Evil Dead, The Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, Bruce played Ash, a man who wreaked havoc and destruction with just one hand. Those films were later adapted into a television series called Louie. Bruce has been in films like Assault on Dome 4 and Tornado. I once asked him if he'd ever turned down a script, and he said, "You can turn down a script." But Bruce is a Renaissance man, by which I mean he is incredibly old.
What?
But he is aging like a fine wine, largely out of the public view.
You fucker. You're gonna pay for that, fucker.
You should see what I didn't do. As an avid follower of Bruce, who follows Groovy Bruce? Social media. I do. As an avid follower of Bruce on social media, I will say to you now what I've said to my own children: you need to limit your screen time. Carrie Lake doesn't go through that many filters. Carrie Lake. The seal has been broken on Carrie Lake references. Bruce was in the film Maniac Cop, or as we call them today, Cops. Torn from today's headlines. I wanted to close with a true story. It's not a roast story, it's a true story. Bruce and I, first time I worked with Bruce was in a TV movie called The Love Bug, which was later made, later made into a theatrical movie that we were not in. But I was beside myself that I was working with Bruce, and he is a great guy, and he told me a story. I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but it tells you who he is. And again, this is not a roast story. As many of you remember Bruce's show, Briscoe County Jr. And Jerry Weber? We knew it a minute ago.
Ron Weber.
Ron Weber. So there's a guy in the, it's a Western, it's a cowboy show. And there's a guy on the lot, on the set, who was named Ron Weber. And one of Ron's jobs worked craft services, which is the snacks and the food on the set. And he also cleans up horse poop. Because that is one of the jobs that you have when you act around horses. Or Burl Ives, same thing. Little known fact about Burl. And Ron had a great, to quote Bruce, Ron never had a bad day. He always had a good attitude. And every time he'd scoop a horse poop, it might be a horse poop to you, but it's a house payment to me. Might be a horse poop to you, but it's another shingle on my roof, which I don't advise. But they were on the lot working on Warner Brothers. One day Ron said to Bruce, we're talking about something. He goes, I shot something as an actor right over there. I picked up Guy Williams and I threw him into a wall. And he goes, what was that on? He goes, a show called Lost in Space. And Bruce said, what did you play on Lost in Space, Ron? And Ron went, played a goon. So Bruce called Scott Spiegel, who many of you might know, who had every episode of Lost in Space on VHS. That's how old this story is. And he goes, you know, sort of a guy, like a big goon picked up Ron. Guy, well, yeah, I know it. So he gets it, and sure enough, he looks at the tape, and there's Ron Weber playing it. So Bruce gets a copy of the tape, gets the cast and crew around, gets Ron there, puts it in, and Ron had never even seen it. And he just had this moment where everybody appreciated him, everybody gave him, it was like Ron had a little moment. No joke aside, that's the kind of person Bruce is. That he sees he sees people in everyone. And what was so weird was I saw Bruce today picking up horse shit down by the park for free, just out of the goodness of his heart. But no, that's the kind of guy. That's why he's one of my heroes, and that's why I'm really proud to know him and be here tonight. That's it. Thanks. Do your worst.
Thanks, Dana. That was a really unfunny story. The better story was Ron Weber worked on a film called Myra Breckenridge. Weird-ass movie from like 1967.
That had a big ascot budget, if I'm not mistaken.
Perhaps. So Ron's working on it. Mae West calls him into his trailer. She had a thing for big, muscular guys, and he was a big, muscular guy. She goes, sit down. And she was 700 years old at this point, and very terrifying looking. And she puts her hand on Ron's knee. And Ron he's a laborer. He doesn't know the fineries of life. He works and picks up horse shit and loves his job. And her hand starts moving up his thigh. And he's like, he tells me later, there just wasn't any way around that. He was very perplexed. So he just stood up and he goes, Mae West, you're my favorite movie star. And he just ran out of the trailer. Anyway, folks, Dana Gould goes way back. I mean, you may have seen him in, look, I don't know, Burger King. Fun fact, though, Dana was an altar boy in Massachusetts, and tonight is still the hardest he's sucked. Either way, Dana, thank you.
Huge if true.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and for being the roast master, if that's what that's called. Now, folks, I hope you were okay with Dana's material tonight, because, you know, he's pretty edgy. Before the show, I told him, you know, you better be careful or you're going to get canceled. From what, I don't know, but you better be careful. Dana's the one guy in the industry you can't say, you'll never work in this town again, because it won't really change anything. I kid, of course. Dana has done a lot of high-end television. He proudly worked on The Simpsons for years in various creative capacities. Newsflash, Dana, everyone worked on The Simpsons. I shouldn't make fun of Dana, though, because we're acting compadres. He mentioned it. We were both in a Disney TV remake of The Love Bug ages ago. Dana played the dim-witted assistant to the bad guy. A real stretch that one was. What Dana doesn't realize is that during the shoot, I paid the writers to give him boring expositional dialogue so my character would shine. Amazing what $20 got you back in the 90s, isn't it? Oh, and Dana, thank you for ruining forever the title of Ash versus Evil Dead by fucking with people's minds. Your show, Stand Against Evil. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, that show guaranteed that nobody would ever get the name of our show right ever again for all eternity. Now it's Ash versus Evil. Hey, Bruce, I saw your show, Ash Against Evil. Hey, that show of yours, Stan versus the Evil Dead, is pretty funny. Let me tell you, pal, out in the parking lot, it's going to be Bruce versus Dana.
Wow. True story. I came up with the title thinking like, oh, I'll take a stand against evil. That's a good expression. And then they changed the character's name to Stan because it fit the title. And then someone was like, oh, it's just a ripoff of Ash versus Evil Dead. And I went, yeah, it is. But then the horse was out of the barn. However, no one has ever gotten the name of my show right, ever.
Yeah, because you fucked everything up.
Yeah, I did. I'm here to disappoint. Ted Raimi is sharing the dais with us this evening. Or as Google would say, did you mean Sam Raimi? And thank God Ted is here. Who do you call when Clint Howard and Marlon Wayans both cancel on the same day? No, Ted has a great career on his own. He acts, he directs. He recently directed some of Sam's rejected hand-me-down scripts. He just directed a sequel to Drag Me to Hell called Let's Swing by Arby's. Ted is also known to be in the film Candyman. That's right. And if you say his name into a mirror 5 times, Candyman appears and says, "Are you sure you didn't mean Sam Raimi?" With no further ado, please welcome America's favorite director's brother, Ted Raimi.
Thank you, Dana. Hey everyone, I'm Ted, obviously, very excited to be here. A lot of you in the audience are thinking, that doesn't really look like Ted Raimi to me. And a much bigger chunk of the audience is thinking, I don't really know what Ted Raimi looks like. That could be him. You of course know me from Evil Dead 1 and 2, where I worked with Bruce. But actually I knew him a lot before that. He actually babysitted me when I was 12 years old. And it was perfect because at the time I was his target demographic, a 12-year-old boy. Bruce makes films for 12-year-old boys and the boys who are 12 years old at heart. I think a lot of them are here tonight. Bruce and my brother collaborated at the inception of the Evil Dead franchise. Early on, my brother Sam did not know if he wanted to be in front of the camera or behind the camera. He wasn't sure if he wanted to act or direct. Maybe Bruce would direct. They had a conversation, and he eventually decided to move behind the camera because Bruce was, quote, slightly more attractive than him. And I think the important part of this story to remember is that my brother is very ugly. Bruce, you're not that attractive. Bruce and I grew up in Detroit together, so it was very funny to watch him become a big movie star. He moved out to LA. He got a big head, although most of it collected in his chin. That's right, I'm here to say it. Hot take, Bruce has a big chin. Don't call the PC police on me, but... As I always say, Bruce Campbell, with the chin of Jay Leno and the acting talent of Jay Leno. That's a really mean joke. That's really unfair to Jay Leno. I think he's a very talented actor. In fact, I would call him a man of many faces. I couldn't think of a motorcycle joke. I had to do the last one. In the early 2000s, when Bruce's mainstream movie roles started to dry up, he achieved the dubious honor of becoming a cult film icon. Yeah. And who saw a cult film icon / cheap commercial booking? Old Spice, baby. Do we remember these Old Spice ads? Early 2000s, super cringy. The whole concept was that Bruce was so cool and you could be just like him if you wear Old Spice. I remember the main commercial was Bruce sitting at a grand piano singing Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran. Yeah. What a great way to sell out while simultaneously asserting your cultural irrelevance. Bruce and Duran Duran have a lot in common. They were both super popular in the 80s, and now no one can figure out why.
Okay, wait, did you? Yeah. Okay, quick question. Did you write this shit or did Ted Raimi?
Ted did not write any of this.
All right. Okay. I guess that's why it's funny.
Bruce and I worked together on Xena Warrior Princess, and thank you. And that Hercules show with the Jesus guy who said disappointed, we all know. Bruce actually went on to direct a couple episodes of Xena, which is really impressive. It's kind of like that time Quentin Tarantino directed an episode of CSI, except for Quentin Tarantino is a good director, and CSI is a show that people watch. I know this is a weird joke coming from me, Ted Raimi. I was on the show, but I'm all zonked out on painkillers. My foot's broken. I don't know what I'm saying now. We've got a wonderful panel of roasters here tonight, and also Peaches Christ is here. I kid. Peaches, you've very much earned your spot on this stage. You are a talented writer, a director, an actor, a producer, and a drag icon. And most importantly for Sketchfest, you live about 6 blocks from here, so they did not need to book a hotel. Love a local booking. Saves a lot of money. If you're a Bay Area local and you have not yet been to a Peaches Christ show, I implore you, go see her live. Or, more realistically, wait till she books one of the girls from RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, the ones that she books to trick you into thinking she's still relevant. Either way, it's gonna be a great show. Dana De Lorenzo is here. As the co-star of Ash vs. the Evil Dead, she's the newest member of the Evil Dead family. And as the little brother of that family, I would like to say, Mom, I wish you had an abortion. Dana is a very talented actor. In fact, she embodies the Hollywood fantasy that we all aspire to. She grew up in small-town Midwest Ohio. Modest means her father was a hat maker / mob boss. She moved out to Hollywood, got a job on a show that people weren't really sure how to access, you know? They were like, what is Stars? Do I have to get cable? Is it a streaming thing? And here she is, 3 years after that wonderful show was unceremoniously canceled, getting shit on by people moderately more famous than her. Isn't showbiz a dream, folks? Kevin Pollak is here because enough people canceled, and I guess they got to him. It's sort of like if enough people die, the Secretary of Education becomes president. That's a kind of a Kevin Pollak situation. And more importantly, Kevin Pollak is here because he will say yes to anything. If you do not believe me, go check out his IMDb. You will see hundreds of credits on movies and TV shows, and if you scroll long enough, you'll find one you've actually seen or heard of. Kevin Pollak is famous for his Christopher Walken impression. I'm sorry, that's a typo. Kevin Pollak does a Christopher Walken impression, and people tolerate it. Kevin is not famous for anything, and he's much less famous than me, Ted Raimi. Cassandra Peterson is here, obviously. This is the second roast she has done with SF Sketchfest. And she courageously refused to drop out when all of the other C-listers did. She doesn't have any qualms slumming it up here with us D-listers. You are a real charitable person, Cassandra. I kid. Cassandra, obviously a household name, amazing. How did you become a C-list person? Like, we're all stuck in the D-list, we're toiling in obscurity. How did you become a household name? Oh, right, the boobs. She has huge boobs. We love her boobs. I'm joking. She's not just a person with huge boobs. She's also a queer icon. That's right. No joke about that. Since the last time she appeared on stage at Sketchfest, Cassandra came out as a queer woman. And in hindsight, we probably should have known. I mean, what kind of woman wears that much makeup and no acrylics? David Alan Grier is here. Because Bruce requested a panelist that made him look less old and washed up by comparison. David was a frequent guest on the show Crank Yankers, which was beloved at the time, and now we all realize is a bunch of offensive stereotypes harassing minimum wage workers. Crank Yankers aged so poorly, I thought it was Peaches Christ! On Crank Yankers, David played a character named The Truth, and David, the truth is, your career has been in a downward spiral since Jumanji. And it's fine. And we mustn't forget our fabulous roast master, Dana Gould. Let's hear a round of applause for Dana. You may know Dana from a rerun of Premium Blend that's playing on Comedy Central during the day while you're homesick from work and can't find the remote. Or just as likely, maybe you know him because he came to your door and informed you that he is legally required to tell you he lives in your neighborhood. But most likely we all know Dana from his work on The Simpsons. He contributed there for years as both a writer and a voice actor. And just like most of the voices on The Simpsons, I'm pretty sure he's racist. Stepping out of my persona for a moment, I am not Ted Raimi, I'm Nick Sahoya. I co-wrote a lot of the jokes tonight with my dear friend Casey Lai, who could not be here. Let's give him a big round of applause. Love you, Casey. And similarly, I would like to reach out to Ted himself since he could not be here. Ted, I know you're watching this. I just want to say thank you. You've been a great sport. I had so much fun writing these jokes with you. And most importantly, I am so happy that I paid that man to club your foot with a baton so I could get up on the stage. This is the biggest crowd I've been in front of in a long time. I'm the Tanya Harding of Sketchfest. Good night, everyone.
I shouldn't be here. Thanks. Sorry, just stretching my legs.
Thanks, Ted. Ted Ramey's a dear old friend. Ted, you're like a brother to me. If only Sam felt the same way about you. It's true. I've known Ted since he was 9. After hearing his jokes tonight, I realize he has not aged a bit. You may remember Ted from showing you to your seat earlier. Ted knows I'm teasing. People poke fun at Ted because, unlike me, he's been in a bunch of low-budget, quirky movies. But he always brings the goods to every role. Don't you, Ted? The empathy you brought to that character Leonard in Baywatch brought a tear to my eye. Who could forget your performance in Blood Rage? Nobody ever brought as much depth to a condom salesman as you, buddy. I'm so proud of you. But look, Ted has not always done low-budget productions. Occasionally, he will appear in mainstream Hollywood fare like Sequest or Clear and Present Danger. Now, Ted, that one was a real coup. I hear Harrison Ford let you even make eye contact. I got all night. I can wait. It's all good. Ted is perhaps best known for playing Joxer in Xena Warrior Princess. And yep, Joxer, the mighty, smells like Aphrodite. We know him. We know that character. Tonight, Ted, I would like to proclaim to all here that I'm suing you for 10% of what you made on Xena. Why? Because Dana Gould was set to take the role, and I begged producer Rob Tapper to give you a shot. Nothing personal, Ted. Just business. I have a special place in my heart for Ted. We've been in about 15 different projects together, and I rarely do anything without him. Why, you ask? Because his father drives a hard bargain. Yeah, I got busted stealing some old granddad out of his liquor cabinet in 1976, and I've been paying him back ever since. Yeah, that's it, Ted.
Thank you, Bruce. And let's have another round of applause for Nick Sahoya in the role of Ted Ramey, also one of our writers. Peaches Christ is here tonight. Peaches Christ, 2 of my 3 safe words. Peaches is what's known in the roast business as a target-rich environment. Of course, Peaches Christ is not her real name. Her real name is Peaches of Nazareth. Another person known for hanging out in the desert with a bunch of strange dudes. Peaches is a burlesque icon, and like most women in burlesque, Peaches has a huge cock. It doesn't really make sense, but you laughed anyway. Please welcome Peaches Christ.
Hello. All right, it really is an honor to be here. I gotta say, this is not gonna be easy for me to roast Bruce Campbell because, well, I think like a lot of you, I truly am a fangirl who loves him so much, right? So Like, I'm not gonna make fun of Bruce Campbell, but I do think it's, ironic, with his age, that his initials are actually BC. And look, I'm not gonna say that I want him to injure himself with a chainsaw, ever. But when asked to recommend a safety coordinator on the new Evil Dead movie, I did recommend Alec Baldwin. Really? It gets so much worse. Okay? Bruce's career reminds me of Pompeii. It's really just all about ash. Really.
God damn.
For anyone who thinks the Evil Dead movies are genuinely gory, just come watch me take my makeup off after the show. Once you've seen that, the Evil Dead franchise will look like Toy Story, which makes a lot of sense because, Bruce's acting is so woody, okay? People used to get Bruce Campbell confused with Bruce Jenner, because they were both famous Bruces with large chins. Okay, strangely, they stopped getting them mixed up a few years ago. I'm not really sure why, but one thing they still have in common is neither has seen their penis in years. And you know what they say about guys with big chins, right? That's right, they have big beards, okay? And speaking of beards, let's give it up for Bruce's wife, Ida Guerin. Now, I don't know what her drag name is, but her drag name should be Ida Left. Did you know Bruce was a reoccurring star on Ellen's sitcom in the 90s? Yeah, Ellen really loved it when he was on set because, well, it was the only time she wasn't the most annoying person there. Oh, and Bruce is an ordained pastor and performs marriage ceremonies, usually for fans. He's married more freaks than Liza Minnelli. Speaking of things that are gay, welcome to San Francisco, everybody. Despite what you've heard, the city is not just some giant free-for-all crack den, where anything goes. That's just certain parts of the Tenderloin and whatever hotel room Cassandra is staying in tonight. Okay? What? She's a good time, mistress of the dark indeed. Okay, I've lived in San Francisco for decades now, and I think of myself as, well, something of an ambassador for the city. Yes, I'm an ambassador of the city of San Francisco, appointed by the gays to come here to your nerd festival and roast your king, Bruce Campbell. You may know that Cassandra and I go way back. I was honored when Cassandra agreed to appear in my movie, All About Evil. Yes, and Cassandra, I just want to assure you yet again that the film's poor showing at the box office had nothing to do with your performance. Sure, that didn't help at all, but who cares, I place the blame squarely on society. It's a well-known fact that mainstream society is steadfastly resistant to queer art. Just look at what happened to Bros at the box office. The only thing mainstream society seems to be more resistant to than queer art is Bruce Campbell's acting career, okay? But I say fuck the mainstream, fuck them. What do they know, right? Bunch of ticket-buying homophobes. Whenever I see yet another Bruce Campbell movie not make the money that it deserves at the box office, I think to myself, that is homophobic, okay? Is it possible that I've misunderstood all these years what the word homophobic means? Yes, okay? But to me, if you don't like Bruce Campbell, you are homophobic, okay? And let me just say this, Bruce. I hope you're not homophobic because, oh God, the things I used to do to Ash Williams in my head when I was growing up. Yikes, oh my God. He got off easy with all those demons in the movies compared to what the demons in my mind were doing, okay? True. Oh my God, he's right there. Let's just say he didn't need two hands to please me. A stump and a chainsaw was plenty. Look, when all the other boys had Elvira's poster taped to their ceiling, I had the Evil Dead poster taped to my face, okay? And so it's truly an honor to be here tonight, fulfilling a lifelong fantasy of saying dirty, terrible things to you. You know, although I will admit, in my original fantasies, Ash was a tad younger. But hey, so was I. Speaking of Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, everyone! Cassandra, how's your head? Oh, wait, never mind. I'll just ask Tom Jones. Oh, I know. Not many people know this, but, you know, Elvira's hair is long at the back to hide burn scars from her youth. Now, those are some unfortunate burns, and I'm sure you'll be saying that right after her set tonight. Nearly 4 decades later, Elvira is still trying to get a sequel made to Mistress of the Dark. She really doesn't take no for an answer, like Tom Jones from the sound of it. We're friends. Dana Gould, everybody. You know, Dana, I remember watching you do stand-up in the 90s on cable. I remember you were on a special called Bob Hope's Young Comedians. And I remember this so specifically because Bob Hope, who must have been in his fucking 90s at the time, was the host. And he was introducing young comedians that he liked, and he introduced you, and you did your set. And afterwards, I remember thinking to myself, wow, like Bob Hope sure does have shitty taste in young comedians. Why were we asking Bob Hope in his 90s who his favorite young comedians were? That's like asking Joe Biden who his favorite rappers are. Nobody wants to know. Look, Dana Gould isn't even the most interesting Dana on this bill. Okay, and given who the other is, that's just sad. Look, I looked Dana Gould up online and found he has 6 solo stand-up specials. Soon he hopes to release one that's funny. You know, Dana was also a writer and producer on The Simpsons. When I look at him, I see less Homer Simpson and more homosexual, okay? I listened to his monthly podcast, The Dana Gould Hour. Yes, it really does need to be renamed, though. The Dana Gould Feels Like 6 Hours podcast. And like I believe it was Bruce mentioned earlier, Dana was raised Roman Catholic and served as an altar boy in the Roman Catholic Diocese of Worcester. So he's probably had more sex with men than I have. Messed that up. Speaking of a tad younger Dana, Dana DeLorenzo is here. Dana, let me just say how impressive it is to meet you, truly. I love your work on Ash vs. the Evil Dead. It's on Starz. If any of you aren't familiar with Starz, it's like the premium cable channel version of this roast lineup. You know, Starz.
I don't even have a tag.
Dana was in an Amy Winehouse tribute band. Yeah. We tried to get her to stop, but she said, no, no, no. Stupid. Now we're hoping she really pays tribute to Amy by dropping dead. It's too easy. It was too easy. Dana appeared in the hit show 2 Broke Girls, but the way her career is going, soon she'll be starring in 2 Broke Girls and 1 Broke Cup. She's also appeared in Will and Grace, which was great for Eric McCormick, who was no longer the most masculine-looking Jew on the cast. Dana lent her voice to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Judging by her outfit tonight, I wish they'd lent her a shell in return. I actually love her outfit. These jokes were written before I saw it. Dana is of Italian descent. You know, it's good that she's fighting the stereotypes about Italians, you know, that they're stylish. I kind of feel bad for her, because, well, her initials are double D. But look at her chest. Life is cruel sometimes, isn't it, sweetie? David Alan Grier is here. Can I just say what a big fan of yours I am? In Living Color is one of my, yes, is one of my favorite shows of all time, especially the iconic sketch Men on Film. I mean this sincerely. As a femboy who loved to dress up in ladies' clothes and talk about movies, I really loved all those sketches. All of us did. You know, we were inspired by it. It was an appreciation of flamboyance rarely seen on TV, especially at that time. It didn't even matter to us that you guys were straight. Our problem was that your makeup was terrible, okay? This is why straights should not play gay, okay? We don't want to see your fucked up face crack, okay? People who've seen, or who've been to see David Alan Grier's stand-up show have proved time and again, sometimes you go black and don't go back. David was in the original Jumanji. He wasn't asked back for the reboot because reportedly he reminded The Rock too much of what he'd look like if he didn't work out. David's been divorced twice, which means he's been in more failed marriages than successful movies. Kevin Pollak, it's a roast. It's a roast. Did we forget it's a roast? Fucking San Francisco. Kevin Pollak is here. I love you in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Love that show. It's the, yes, that's right. It's the gayest show about being Jewish I've ever seen. You've been in so many amazing movies, and I love all your iconic impressions. Kevin is, of course, known for impersonating stars like Jack Nicholson, Christopher Walken, Columbo, you know, all the hip young stars. With that Peter Falk impression, it's shocking you're not bigger on TikTok. Now, I imagine you're not big on TikTok. I imagine the only TikTok in your life is the sound of the clock winding down on your career. Speaking of Kevin's impressions, Kevin does a very good Woody Allen impression. You know, the way he molests young girls, it's uncanny. Kevin Pollak was in The Usual Suspects, and yes. Somehow, even 30 years later, remains the most creepy Kevin that worked on that film. Kevin is so unattractive that in the 90s, he convincingly played Sarah Jessica Parker's brother. Kevin was in A Few Good Men. Hell, I can relate to that. I've also been in A Few Good Men. Well, maybe not the good part. I've also seen you in End of Days, which, now that you're 65, is more of a prediction than a film credit. I did mention that Kevin was in The Usual Suspects, and I know what you're thinking. Doesn't Bryan Singer only hire young, attractive men? I'm glad he made the exception for you, Kevin. How were those pool parties, by the way? Anyway, I believe that's my time. Thank you, Bruce and SF Sketchfest, for inviting me here tonight. I know, I speak as a true Bruce Campbell fan. Hell, I am such a fan, I knew who Ted Raimi was without looking it up when they asked me to do this. I speak as a fan and an ambassador for this giant group of San Francisco nerds when I say, we love you, Bruce Campbell!
Well, 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 Peaches Christ is in the house. Yes, folks, Peaches Christ, or as Ron DeSantis calls her, the future liberals want. Peaches, no disrespect, but your jokes were so bad you'll be leaving here with your tail and your dick between your legs. Quick joke. Why don't drag queens drown? Because they're flamboyant. Hey, lady! Seriously, Peaches, thank you for being the guest willing to travel the least distance to be here. That's right, Peaches is from San Francisco, and even though you live here, I'm sure you'll find yourself in a motel later. You know, Peaches, it's hard to keep up with you. You've been in so much stuff, and so much stuff has been in you. To be fair, I am honored that Peaches is here. She has been a pillar of the San Francisco underground community for decades. Yes. The key words here, of course, are has been. Yes. You know, Peaches, I cross-dressed a few times. To clarify, I played a woman in a role. So I have to ask, as a man, why would you want to give up being such a schlubby dude? Guys don't have to do shit. They grab the greasy jeans off the floor, throw on the least smelly t-shirt, and away they go. Being a woman is a pain in the ass. I played a woman. The designer shoes with spike heels squeezing my toes so far to the front, I felt like I could decorate a cake. Wigs captured all the heat, attempting to escape from my body. And the combo platter of pantyhose and girdle guaranteed that I never got a full line of dialogue out because I was oxygen deprived. The false eyelashes felt like someone glued a feather duster to my lids, and between thick pancake makeup and powder and mascara, I had a toxic waste dump right on my face. Having said that, I must say, Peaches, you do look fabulous tonight.
Thank you, Peaches, for pointing out that men can't put on women's makeup correctly. Dana DiLorenzo is with us tonight, which answers the question, who are we going to get to bring that Sharon Glass level of excitement? Dana was on the series with Bruce, and as Peaches said before that, she was in an Amy Winehouse tribute band. Ash versus the Evil Dead, and someone who is now dead and made of ash. Because they cremated her body after she died. And all that was left was ash. The same word that is the name of Bruce's character. Homonyms. They're called cremains. You know, like craisins. According to Wikipedia, Dana began her acting career doing a radio commercial for a clothing store owned by her father. What are the odds? I don't have any more about Dana because I don't want to be accused of roasting down. Please welcome Dana DiLorenzo.
I am thrilled to be invited here tonight to the table read for the Xena reboot on Freevee. Lucy Lawless turned it down, but we got Peaches, which explains the new title, Xena Pageant Queen. Even Kevin Sorbo said no, but of course Kevin Pollak said yes. Ted Raimi said yes, then said no, so we got his joke writer instead. And, you know, this is my first roast and first time performing my own material. So I'm really nervous, but now I know I'm performing my own material because he was too busy, the joke writer, writing his own jokes. That's what he was doing.
I wrote them today.
Well, I'm not even good. Okay. You should have joined Casey then when we were talking. I am delighted to be in the company of this dais. because for the first time in a long time, and probably the last time, hide your face, fake Ted. I'm the baby of the group. I'm the baby. And I mean, come on, you guys. You all remember what the end of your prime was like. You know? I mean, except for Bruce. He smokes so much weed, he doesn't even remember why we're here. You know, speaking of that, I just want to say, just please, I am begging you, let me enjoy my youth for one more night, said Kevin Spacey to Kevin Pollak on the set of Usual Suspects. Too much? So I played Bruce's F-bomb slinging sidekick, Kelly Maxwell, on Ash vs. Evil Dead. Thank you. Now, everyone knows that Evil Dead was the start of Bruce's career. What I didn't know was it would be the end of mine. Bruce, you know, I am honored you asked me to be a part of this. I mean, unfortunately, the rest of the roasters are not, but I'm honored, and I mean, you did ask me after everyone else canceled, but still, what an honor. You know, the only thing that could like possibly top this is if you asked me to be a part of a project that pays me. like an actual job, like the kind with health insurance. I mean, I don't know, Bruce, but like hypothetically, if you ever say, I don't know, make another Evil Dead movie, I will rise to the occasion. Bruce wanted tonight to resemble the Dean Martin roast, so we're taking it back to the 70s, keeping it classy, like the good old days. Yeah, the good old days. Back when Dean Martin and his cronies had one black friend and we called it a triumph. The good old days. Back when drunk white men could objectify women without getting canceled. The good old days. Back when motion pictures were about evil trees, raping women. Now that was entertainment. The good old days. Speaking of things that are unholy, Peaches Christ is here. Looking fabulous as always, Peaches. Peaches was featured in a Who Wore It Better contest on Just Jared recently. Unfortunately, she lost to Svengoolie. That one is for the Chicago horror fans watching at home. The rest of you can look it up later, because like Bruce's rolling papers, that one's a slow burn. Peaches, I'm not even gonna try to roast you, because we all know how mean you queens can be. How do we know? Meghan Markle. Speaking of queens, Elvira is here. Cassandra Peterson, AKA Mistress of the Dark. Cassandra invented Elvira. Elvira invented a new kind of hot. Creepy hot, you know? Think about it, think about it. There'd be no Kardashians without Elvira. No Olsen twins without Elvira. No Adam Driver without Elvira. No no Ted Bundy without Elvira. And honestly, Elvira's been the star of many a wet dream. I bet every guy in this room has rubbed one out to Elvira. In fact, the only person to give more straight men a boner is Bruce. But Elvira was also the sexual awakening for a lot of queer women, including herself. Since she too prefers the company of women, which only makes men masturbate to her even more. The always great David Alan Grier is here. David, you're the most talented person up here by far, so for that reason alone, you are the Sammy Davis Jr. of this Dean Martin style roast. But, and like Sammy Davis, David here is a triple threat. He can sing, he can dance, and he's, he coincidentally has a glass eye. No, I mean, look, I gotta call this out. He is the only person of color on the dais. I mean, come on, Sketchfest. Even the Golden Globes did better than that this year. What's fascinating to me, David, is that your dad was a doctor, like a famous psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist, yes.
Yeah, and you're an actor. Good to know black parents can be disappointed in their kids, too. Good to know. It's good to know. Old Dana, aka Dana Gould, is here, our roast master this evening. I'm no fortune teller, but I'm guessing Dana will come at me hard tonight, which is 100% worse than Louis C.K. It is. Roasting Dana sounds like I'm insulting myself in the third person if I were an elderly man. You know? I mean, it's weird. Like, you made it weird, Dana. Yes, I did. See what I mean? It's just, Dana, we need to differentiate ourselves with nicknames, okay? I mean, I like older Dana, younger Dana, but if you don't, how about the Dana with balls? Good? Great, now pick yours. San Francisco native Kevin Pollak is here tonight. Somehow he hasn't been canceled yet. Kevin, you might not remember this. In fact, I know you didn't. I know you don't. But years ago, we worked together on a show called Impress Me. Funny, for someone known for doing impressions, you didn't leave one on me. No, I'm kidding, Kevin. You have the biggest credits of everyone up here. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, A Few Good Men, Casino. And just like Peter Lawford and the Rat Pack, I never remember you were in them. Always forget, always forget. Speaking of actors who are in everything, Ted Raimi is no longer here. I mean, at any rate, Ted once told me, this is 100% true, by the way. This is 100% true. Ted once told me the only actor he didn't get along with was his Sequest co-star, Darwin. According to Ted, Darwin the dolphin was so jealous of Ted, he sabotaged Ted's scenes. When asked for comment, the dolphin denied it was on purpose. I don't care, it's my favorite joke. It's for the dads. It's my favorite joke. I don't give a shit. Oh, the man of the hour, Mr. Bruce Campbell is here. He's still here. He's still here. That's a plus. You know, the fans are expecting me to tear you a new asshole, Bruce, but, you know, you've already had your head up one, so I'll cut you some slack. Because this town is only big enough for one asshole, and that asshole is you. When it comes to delivering one-liners like that, that was his line. It was one-liners like that. Bruce Campbell is the GOAT. He's the GOAT at delivering a one-liner. Bruce is not just the king of one-liners, he's also a one-take wonder. When a director wants a second take, he wonders why. Bruce, we had so many crazy days on set, and some of them, though, were, truly frightening. Like, the time that I was covered in gallons of blood and you were on your period. Scary. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, here's the Evil Dead canon. Ash is an alpha male, his car is the Delta. He unleashed evil into the world after he read from the Book of the Dead, AKA the Necronomicon. Now you all know how COVID started. Bruce got so high once, he didn't know if he was flying Delta, driving Delta, or if the Delta 8 he smoked was the variant he caught after reading from the Necronomicon. Or maybe that was Ash. I don't know. I get them confused when I'm high, which I still am after hugging Bruce hello 3 hours ago. Bruce Campbell here is a proud member proud member of the Elks, or as David Alan Grier calls it, the Fancy Clan. Bruce is an avid reader, but he's also a New York Times bestselling author. For such an avid reader, thought he'd be a better writer. I'm teasing. I love your books. I've read all of them at least halfway through. You know, your books are great to read sitting by the fire. Even better in the fire. I believe that's the getting put on burn notice at this point in the roast, Bruce. No, but seriously though, seriously, you are a machine. This guy never stops working on inventing new ways to get the same fans to give him more money. I mean, on top of everything else, I don't have to mention, Bruce started his own film fest. I mean, Redford gave us Sundance, De Niro gave us Tribeca, and Bruce gave us Bruce Fest. Catchy, catchy. I mean, who names a festival after himself? Even Jay-Z was too humble for that. Okay, here is a snippet from the Bruce Fest Not Secure website. I mean, fans from all over the country gather to worship at the altar of the king. Wow, dude. Enjoy an intimate weekend with Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi. So you double billed Ted and still called it Bruce Fest. Like not even and friends. No wonder Ted canceled. I mean, first he takes a backseat to his brother, now he's taking a backseat to this clown. Ted said, is enough, and he moved up to the front and he turned his car around. All the way back to his Michigan garage. Well, Bruce, you made Dean Martin proud tonight because you showed up half in the bag. But he said we roast the ones we love. And I got nothing but love for you, boss. And you already know how much I look up to you because you've always been so tall. And I know you get squirmy when I get sentimental, and this is the worst part of the roast for you. So I'm gonna let it rip. Okay, the number one question I get from fans is, what's it like working with Bruce Campbell? First, I'll say this. You command every screen and stage you're on. You make it seem effortless even when it's not. And you have a certain magic, which is why you're one of the greats. And thank you for sharing your light to show us our way through the dark. And oh, Captain, my Captain, wherever you go, I'll follow. I'll follow you into the woods, I'll follow you into hell, and I'll follow you into the bank in case you want to cover my expenses for tonight. So, what's it like working with Bruce Campbell? Here's what I always say. It's exactly as you hope it would be, only even better. So, as the daughter you never had, and the daughter I'm glad you didn't, because I love my dad.
You better be careful. My daughter's here tonight. Well, it's my sister and my daughter, so it's all right.
You made it weird, Bruce. Well, at any rate, I hope I made you proud, and I hope I've shown the people who've been watching everything I learned from watching you. And if not, well, I'll try again at your funeral.
Yes, this from the woman of Italian descent who loves to eat at Buca di Beppo because it's so authentic.
Every time.
Folks, you may remember the multi-talented Dana from the Evil Dead franchise, but let's be honest, you probably don't. Dana, you were so good in that show. And while you might not have died, your jokes did tonight. But I should explain. Dana is here because, well, what else would she be doing? Hey, Dana, we're doing a I'll Be There. Yeah. Quick story. When Dana auditioned, for Ash vs. Evil Dead, we asked her what kind of stunt or acting experience she had. And up to that point, Dana had only played a girl number 2 on Broke Girls, and she was a sidekick to a shock jock in Chicago. So we said to her, let me get this straight, Dana, you really have no acting experience. Yeah, that's correct. Well, then you're perfect for Evil Dead. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Yeah.
You're the best.
It was great acting around you. Dana, come on. You know, I'm kidding. We've been through a lot together. We battled so many monsters on Ash vs. Evil Dead. Kandarian Demon, the Dark Ones, Lucy Lawless, Stars, you name them. We fought them all. Thank you, Dana. Get a job.
Wow. I'm up here with the cast of Ash Against Stan. Thank you, Dana, with that dark hair and those ruby red lips and that glamorous glittering gown. You took the stage like a female Liza Minnelli. Speaking of timely references, Kevin Pollak is here tonight. Famous for his impressions of Peter Falk and Johnny Carson. If you're under 40, this guy you've never heard of does impressions of other people you've never heard of. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Kevin is worth $8 million. According to therichest.com, Kevin is worth $16 million. And according to Tucker Carlson, he's a Hollywood Jew. That's the Rickles. Kevin, you're a Jew. You got a Jew over here, and a Italian over here, and a black guy in the back waiting for a truck to show up. These are Don Rickles jokes, and if you don't like it, the exits are clearly marked. Kevin is on the series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, a show about a group of Jewish people in Brooklyn in the early 1960s that stars only one Jewish person, Kevin Pollak. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is to Jews what Planet of the Apes is to apes. The show is full of them, just not in real life. Let's face it, the cast of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is about as Jewish as the cast of January 6th. Kevin was also on the FX series Better Things, a show that is its own answer to the question, what else is on? You make an undramatic drama from a comedy that isn't funny. Kevin was also in the film The Usual Suspects. The poster for The Usual Suspects shows Kevin Spacey in a police lineup. Apparently it was designed by Nostradamus. Nostradamus. The film stars Kevin Spacey and was directed by Bryan Singer, or as the LAPD calls them, Cum and Cummer. Speaking of cum, come on up here, Kevin Pollak.
Thank you. Please be seated. Dana, I'll give you $47,000 to let me go home. Thank you, Dana. Dennis Miller called. He wants his big words back. That's one snort I got, one.
You put your glasses on like Jack Benny.
Yeah. Dana Gould's been working consistently since 1993, and after 30 years in the business, he's really killing it with the TV guest star roles, isn't he? As you can see, and you've been told, and you've seen many times, there are two Danas on the dais. It's no accident. Our roastmaster Dana Gould insisted there be another Dana up here that is less famous than him. Big congratulations to Sketchfest on finding one. Many may not know this, but when Dana first moved to Los Angeles, he lived in a tiny studio apartment on the corner of Sunset and Bruce Campbell's Chin. All due respect, Elvira, but I have been told that back in the day, Dana ran around with Vampira. I should say that more respectfully. Dana has AIDS. Yeah. Right? You okay with that one?
Oh, you wrote that one.
Yes,
so
I
good.
did. And now 7 words no one has ever spoken. I'm sorry Ted Raimi couldn't be here. He had a serious foot injury, all kidding aside, and we hope he's doing better. Sam Raimi also couldn't be here because, well, after the two of you worked together, he did really, really well. Peaches Christ. I don't have a single negative thing to say about Peaches. Really. I don't. I'm in awe of you. Or anyone who begins their workday by duct taping their balls to their asshole. Mad respect, Ms. Christ. Bruce, I hope you feel honored tonight. Sketchfest really pulled out all the stops for you, which was not easy. Still, much, much easier than it will be later when Peaches yanks his balls out of his asshole. As it's been mentioned, of course, Cassandra has come to pay her respects to Bruce, which is very cool, for real. It's an honor to be on the stage with an icon like you. I'm certain tomorrow, in fact, when everyone here shares with their friends the fun they had tonight, they'll all say what a thrill it was that Cassandra Peterson was here. Sometimes you got to work with the props, David. Yeah. Yeah, I worked with Kevin Spacey. Remind me later to show you on this microphone where he tried to touch me. In the asshole. David Alan Grier, or Dag, if you let him fuck you. David recently starred in the Disney live-action Beauty and the Beast as the talking clock Cogsworth. The film faced a backlash from conservatives who were vehemently against the black actor in that role. That is, until they learned that Cogsworth is, in fact, the butler, and then, yeah, they were super good with it. David, of course, well known as the breakout star in Living Color, if you can forget Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx, and 47 members of the Wayans family. We should all thank David for taking work off. He's filming right now. Took work off from Booty Juice 3 to be here, so thank you for that. Dana DiLorenzo, everybody. Anybody? Great actress and dear friend and co-worker with our guest of honor, Bruce Campbell, of course. And as soon as she's done up here, she'll be down there to take your drink order. This is my first time here, actually, in the beautiful Sidney Goldstein Theater. Yeah. Couldn't come up with a more Jewy name? Was Sidney Steen taken? This was not the original venue for tonight's event. This roast was originally supposed to take place in Peaches Christ's asshole, but it only seats 300. Mad respect. Most people don't realize that Bruce auditioned for the role in The Elephant Man. It's true. It's true. The producers ultimately passed, saying his chin would make the character grotesque. Bruce also won a coveted role in the Avatar film franchise, but James Cameron had to recast, saying that the technology did not yet exist to make him a good actor. Bruce, when I see you, I always think of that community chest card in Monopoly that reads, second prize in a beauty contest, collect $10. Never gonna win that contest, huh, buddy? But hey, $10. You know, pretty sweet. Bruce, obviously known for his many roles in B movies. There's another term for B movies, not good. It's a technical term, I'll explain. Example, a film he did called 18 and a Half, played only on airlines. That's a fact. On JetBlue, it was only playing on flights between San Francisco and Los Angeles, so you needed a round trip to see the whole film. I'm actually surprised Bruce agreed to do this. What little I do know about Bruce is that he's a very private fellow. Not a lot is known about Bruce. For me, most of it's on a need-to-care basis, but there are a few surprises. One, for example, Dana Gould gave him AIDS. Well, this was not as painful as I thought it was going to be. I do want to thank everyone on the dais tonight, honestly. From the bottom of my heart, I have never felt this famous in my entire life.
Here it comes.
Thanks, Kevin. Yep. It's amazing how well he knows me and my career, and we've never met. So really, it's just rude, is all that is. As a fellow entertainer, I do appreciate Kevin's skills. He has a keen eye and a great ear. He's well known for his celebrity impressions, because if there's one thing he likes to do, is pretend he's a celebrity. I'm kidding. Kevin, I don't know if you know this, but I am very grateful for your work as an actor. Truly, truly. You make me look subtle. Oh my God. Do you know what you were so good in? No, seriously, I'm asking. I'm trying to think of something. Oh, that's right. Kevin was in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, about a woman trying to make a career in comedy. Kevin's been trying to do the same thing for a long time. But you know what? Kevin doesn't need show business. He's an avid poker player. Hey, you know what? You should play against Cassandra, because all she has is a decent pair.
Something of a mic drop moment there. And thank you, Kevin, for pointing out the name of the theater. We were wondering why Kanye dropped out so suddenly. That's because he doesn't like the Jews. Does not like the Jews. That would be the reason. Cassandra Peterson. Cassandra. Sure, let's get it going right out of the gate. Cassandra Peterson. She is most famous for her alter ego, Elvira, which is, of course, Spanish for the Vira. Much bigger response than I thought. I thought that was just like an opening, like an aperitif. Cassandra has been the mistress of the dark since 1981. You know, if he hasn't left Mrs. Dark by now. The seal has been broken on Johnny Dark references. It was just for Kevin. In her excellent new book that I highly recommend you buy and read, Yours Cruelly, I got that right? Cassandra came out as gay after 14 years with her partner. I guess she just wanted to be sure. Came roaring out of the closet like a lesbian cicada. Like a lot of women in life, Cassandra didn't realize she was gay until much later. For years, she thought she was just scissoring a pal. One thing I do love about Cassandra being gay all these years is it means that even those guys who never had a chance with her never had a chance with her. Please welcome the lovely Cassandra Peterson.
Oh my God, that was funny. Wow, thank you. Wow. Okay, well, okay. When I was first asked to do this roast, which was like about, 3 years ago or something, I kept postponing it. It was supposed to be full of horror icons, but except for me, I guess they all dropped out. Now the only scary thing on this stage is Kevin Pollak's hairline. Well, and maybe Peach's 5 o'clock shadow, but I won't go there. I may seem like a larger-than-life character or kind of an out-of-touch Hollywood celebrity type, but honestly, I'm just exactly like all of you. I, too, have never seen an episode of Burn Notice. I've never heard of it. Yeah, Bruce allegedly appeared on 111 episodes of the show. I mean, he's like some kind of a porn star from the 80s or something. It's weird. I tried to watch a few episodes of Burn Notice, but it was so white and full of Hawaiian, shirts and everything that I was surprised the Boogaloo Boys weren't involved somehow. Anyway. Dana DeLorenzo acted with Bruce, of course, on Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which is a show on TV. Well, not exactly on TV. It's on Stars. You know HBO's slogan, it's not TV. Well, Stars has the very same slogan, but for them it's more like a disclaimer. It's not TV, it's Stars. Yeah. Seriously, I mean, if everyone on stage right now just subscribed to Stars, its market share would triple. Just with this little group here. Okay, Dana DeLorenzo refers to Bruce as her big brother and Bruce refers to Dana as the subject of a future restraining order. Dana De Lorenzo is such a beautiful, beautiful name. And you know, I happen to speak Italian, and I don't know if you know, but De Lorenzo in Italian means D-list. Which should make you feel right at home here tonight, Dana. Except for me. As for the other Dana, who's right here, Gould is actually the Old English for funny. I thought you were Jewish. Anyway, okay.
Again,
Dana,
that's why Kanye dropped out.
you had to pick up the slack.
Kanye.
Okay, I get it. That wasn't funny. Okay, Dana De Lorenzo over there. You might not have achieved cult icon status just yet, but you do seem like a great candidate for Scientology. And I have a brochure here, which I'll give you later. Okay, I can't find it right now. Okay, where am I? Yeah, okay. Dana, I just want to say that I remember watching you on the Craig Ferguson show, and you were really, really very, very funny, I've got to say. And speaking of late night shows, Dana, I always thought that you would make a fantastic late night host. But after meeting you tonight, I realize you really aren't likable enough. My good friend Peaches Christ is here tonight. That's right. The woman who put the can into Bruce Campbell. And you look amazing, as usual, always. Seriously, after taking a good look at all the guys up here on stage tonight, you're the only one I want to fuck. Anyway, Peaches Christ is, of course, the daughter of Christ, as we all know. And much like her namesake, she is also a carpenter. Well, not exactly a carpenter, but she sure knows how to handle a big piece of wood.
Hey, lady.
Ow! Oh, sorry, okay. Okay, Peaches, I had so much fun working on All About Evil with you, which of course starred Natasha Lyonne, right? I remember saying you saying to me that you were really influenced by The Evil Dead, that the movie was influenced by it. And so, you know, I watched it recently, and I could really tell that you were influenced by it, because The Evil Dead is known as one of the most successful cult films ever in history. And All About Evil is like, has the word evil in the title. Anyway, The Evil Dead, of course, starred Bruce, who famously acts like he's on a ton of drugs, while All About Evil starred Natasha Lyonne, who really was on a ton of drugs. Yeah, so drugs are to Natasha Lyonne what movie roles are to Bruce. She'll do them, doesn't matter the quality, just ask her. Yeah, we'll do them too. Okay, anyway, David Alan Grier is here. David, you are so impressively talented. I mean, really, Shakespearean trained, Tony Award-winning actor and entertainer.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I mean, I feel like just your presence here is the whole roast, you know? I mean, okay, wait, I lost my place. Okay. Oh yeah, no, I feel like your mere presence here is the whole roast, because it's, you know, Bruce is like, hey, look, a guy who can actually act. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay,
I like
that went up. All right, David Alan Grier used to regularly appear on the syndicated radio show Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew, which was very, very smart of him, because sitting in between those guys, it makes anyone look funny. Very good. Yeah. Ted Raimi, I had no idea how Ted looked, but I'm so happy that he's here. Ted Raimi appears in a video game called The Quarry. Quarry? Was it Quarry? Woo! And to study for the role, he spent the last several decades in a quarry, aka his career. In the quarry, he plays a small-town cop, and after seeing him act, I've never been more sure that we need to defund the police. Okay. Kevin Pollak is here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin. Unlike other people on the stage, I wouldn't describe you as a cult icon. You were more of a character actor. And I think the main difference is that cult icons are people who are idolized by a more limited audience, while character actors are just people who have a wider audience and they just say, oh yeah, that guy. Anyway, okay, I fucked up that joke too. Okay, and don't worry though, Kevin, really, I'm not gonna ask you to do one of your impressions. If I wanted to watch a guy pretend to be an actor, I would just watch one of Bruce's movies. Okay, Kevin was born and raised in San Francisco. Yeah, I know, hard to believe, a Jew from San Francisco. Just like our Senator Dianne Feinstein, right? And on behalf of everyone here in California, I'd just like to say to you what we'd all like to say to Senator Feinstein. Please, for the love of God, retire already. Bruce wrote a book called Make Love, the Bruce Campbell Way. And I'm just saying, for the sake of all you gals out there, I hope Bruce fucks better than he acts. In 2007, Bruce made a movie called My Name is Bruce, because 30 years into his career, he still needed to remind people what his name was. They're working on a sequel, you know. Yeah, it's called, no, seriously, My Name is Bruce. Really, my last name is Campbell. I was in the Evil Dead movie, remember? Please, please don't forget me.
Well, that's a long title.
I know, they're gonna have a hard time fitting that on the poster, right? Oh, anyway, I'm not saying Bruce is an actual horror movie icon, but I am pretty sure if you say his name into the mirror 5 times, he'll appear in your movie. But enough of that joking. We're here to celebrate Bruce Campbell tonight. I am a huge fan, been a fan of his movies. I can't tell you how much. When they ask me what is my favorite horror movie, believe it or not, I say The Evil Dead. I'm not kidding you. And he is a treasure in cult cinema. And most importantly, we are here because the check cleared. Okay, thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody.
Cassandra, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you, thank you. It's nice to know even your jokes are D's. And I gotta say, what a reception you got. What a reception. Usually when I see you, I'm giving myself a hand. Honestly though, you'll have to forgive Cassandra. She's a Kansas girl. She doesn't really mean what she says, it's just the character talking. Speaking of Elvira, Cassandra has made a career out of introducing terrible movies, and I know that Ted Raimi really appreciates those residual checks. I guess you could say Cassandra has been around. Lots of boxes checked. She was a penthouse pet, go-go dancer who dated Elvis, an Italian rock band singer who played Baccarat with Sean Connery. Cassandra has had more jobs than Hunter Biden. You know, sometimes you just throw a name out there and just see what happens. He's not here tonight. But I've known Cassandra for a long time. We've been green room buddies at conventions for decades. But who knew? Cassandra recently announced she's been in a long-term relationship with a woman, and even crazier, so is Dana Gould. Yeah, I'll leave you with a little-known fact. Cassandra was a longtime spokesman for Coors Beer. Who knew that she prefers Bush?
Thanks, Bruce. I'll clean this up. Cassandra, thank you very much, Cassandra, for coming. Cassandra's the queen of Halloween. Halloween, of course, is my favorite holiday. Halloween is when people you don't know come to where you live and they take all your shit. The next big holiday is Thanksgiving, or as Native Americans call it, Halloween. I also want to thank Cassandra for bringing up Dianne Feinstein. I'm so sorry. She sent a message tonight. I had Jell-O today. David Allen Greer is with us this evening. David rose to fame on In Living Color, the all-black sketch show that gave the world Jim Carrey. David created the short-lived Comedy Central series, The Chocolate News. Here's a chocolate news flash. Every series on Comedy Central is a short-lived series on Comedy Central. David is a classically trained Shakespearean actor, which means that tonight has really gotta hurt. He must have been that guy I heard screaming at his agent in iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter. That's how they talk in those. That's how they talk in those plays. Iambic. Iambic pentameter. How do you say you're a big pentameter? Made up on the spot in the time you saw it, and yet it was effortless. Dave, thank you, Kevin. David was in a series of unfortunate events. Among them, the show, A Series of Unfortunate Events. David then starred in the film The Watsons Go to Birmingham. The story was set in 1960, which explains its sequel, The Watsons Get the Fuck Out of Birmingham. David is beloved in the Hollywood community. He is known to his friends as Dag, or as he likes me to call him, Mr. Greer. David Allen Greer, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, y'all? I cannot believe I took my mask off for this. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Allen Greer. I'm this evening's Sketchfest diversity hire. Thank you, Dana, for bringing me up here. You're doing a great job tonight. Though let me say, I think of everyone up here, you're probably best known for your written work. And tonight, we see why. He wrote these jokes. Let's do it. Dana and I we're neighbors.
That's right.
I live at the top of the hill, and he lives down below the clouds. Now, Dana, you wrote for The Simpsons. Everyone's talked about that. And I think, well, I, of course, was on In Living Color. Thank you. You may applaud. They were the first shows to really put Fox on the map. And it's interesting, considering what the Fox brand has become, that it was built by shows full of black and yellow people.
Yes.
I guess the main difference between the two shows is that When we did racial stereotypes, they were still voiced by actual brown people.
Yes.
Not just jokes, a lot of truth.
That was all my decision.
So, it's an honor to be here tonight. It truly is. It's a big honor for me, and I have to admit, I'm surprised to be going last. Or as I told my gentleman friend down there, Mr. Pollock, I'm closing the show. Fucker. This roast is in the horror genre. So like most of you in the audience, I just assumed I'd go first. This is a mostly sold out show, and on top of that, this event is being live streamed all across the world right now. And to the people watching at home, I'd just like to tell you one thing. Get your shit together. You gotta buy your tickets in advance. That's right, we're being live streamed just like the Tony Awards, except unlike the Tonys, no one here deserves recognition for excellence in their field. Some of you, I'm not even sure what field you're in. Peaches, you're just so angry. Bruce and I are both from Detroit, but I think it's clear I'm from the real Detroit. Brucey. Bruce and I acted in a movie in '95. It was a Tom Arnold vehicle called McHale's Navy. Now, if you'd like to know how Bruce and I got along on set, I'll just say this. This is the first time I've talked to this motherfucker in 30 years. And I'm being paid to do it tonight. But I can't help but feel it's because he needed someone, anyone non-white, to come on the stage and pretend to be his friend. Just address what everyone else up here has already mentioned. This stage is really, really white. Army of Darkness, it is not. It's more like the army of albinos featuring one Italian lady. Now, they even had a chance to make a last-minute substitution for Ted Raimi, and they still went with a white kid. Come on, you could have Bridgertoned up this joint. It's 2023. Anything is possible. One thing I like about Brucey here is that I know he doesn't believe in that white lives matter nonsense, right? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Judging by the amount of people who have died in his films, I'm pretty sure he doesn't think any lives matter. And I'm sorry that Ted couldn't fly here tonight. Apparently, he asked his brother if he could borrow one of his private jets, but Sam said he only liked to use them for important events. Very environmentally conscious, I might add. Now, most performers up here are known as cult icons, and I'm just happy it's a horror cult. I can think of some way worse cults I can think of. Well, for me at least. Kevin Pollak, everybody. We love Kevin. Kevin and I, we're both known for doing characters, although mine, whether they hold up or not, sorry, Peaches, no offense. We're mostly of my own creations. Yours are really just a bunch of actors relevant in another era. I'm actually surprised you don't do Bruce. Seems like he'd be more in your wheelhouse. Peaches, nice to meet you. Although you did go hard on me over Okay? Maybe you should change your name to Krabby Appleton. Dana D! What's up, baby? Damn, that was a long fucking set. I knew white women could talk, but goddamn! Woo! We got civil rights in this country less time than that. Oh, boy, I won't keep you. These guys have already sucked the air out of the room. Of all the roles, speaking of myself yet again, of all the roles I've had, I think playing Jackie Robinson on Broadway is probably one of the best that prepared me for this show tonight. Like Jackie, despite all the hard work I put into my career to be the best on the lineup, I've had to spend most of the night watching less talented white people do the job. Ladies and gentlemen, I do love Bruce. I wish for once we could have a roast where we don't have to talk badly about each other. What's wrong with getting in a room and just saying, I love you, man? Let's not cut each other down. Anyways, fuck off. Good night.
Thanks, David. As a fellow Michigander, I appreciate your total lack of imagination. You know, Michiganders are great people. When they're not, yeah, where are you from? Okay, it doesn't matter. No one really cares. Michiganders are great people. When we're not bow hunting white rhinos, we're trying to kidnap the governor. David, you're a great actor who's had a great career. I mean, the 90s were something, weren't they? It was something. You know, in addition to an incredible TV and film resume, you have accomplished so much on the stage. I mean, not tonight, but, you know, in general. And for your information, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yes?
Just because you have an MFA from Yale, that doesn't give you the right to belittle me. I made it 6 months at Western Michigan University. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure all that fancy education helped you interpret your role on Alf. Yeah, maybe if you got a doctorate, you could have saved McHale's Navy. Oh, and hey, look, you got a sack of Tony Awards. How many Saturn Awards do you have? Okay. I even have back-to-back Chainsaw Awards. And the key to Decatur, Illinois. Let me tell you, I'm only 4 awards away from an EGOT. It's not far. That's not far. Seriously, David, you are way too prestigious to be here. I mean, you've been on stage with David Mamet, and tonight you're on stage with Peaches Christ. Did your agent have a stroke? And sure. Oh, sure, you've worked with Mamet. I've starred in a movie by the guy who wrote and directed Alien Apocalypse. Don't get all high and mighty on me. By the way, I loved you in Clifford the Big Red Dog. And speaking of huge bitches, Dana DiLorenzo is here tonight. Thank you very much. All right, now, folks. I mean, I feel bad for you. I seriously do. Lincoln had a better time at the theater. I mean, I'd offer your money back, but I know this panel. Let me tell you, it's snowing in San Fran right now. You're not going to get your money back. No. In all sincerity, I do want to thank everybody on stage tonight. It means a lot to me. I know how busy you are, except Ted. This is the first time he's had plans in January since that trip to the Capitol.
Bruce, I do need to leave. I have another show. I have to go.
Go ahead, Ted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ted. Thank you, Ted.
Hey, Nick.
So, thank you. They say if you want to know someone's character, look at the friends he keeps. I am so screwed. I want to thank you all, but we're going to do one last little game tonight. Could we turn the house lights up to maybe half, but not too much? A little more. A little more.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. We're going to play a little game because these fine people have all insulted me horribly. So it's now your chance. Yeah. Oh, I like the clapping. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to play a little game. I'm going to turn my back to you, and you get to shout out the name of the movie I did that you want your money back for. Please wait till I turn around. Everyone's so excited to play this game, they just start vomiting out every title. I need a single person to identify themselves. Who would like to stand up and name a movie? Name it. My name is Bruce. You want your money back? Yeah. Suck it, bitch. You know, it's really enough of this stupid game because everyone's going to name every fucking movie I ever did. Let's just leave it at this. We love each other. We love you. So you should love each other. Have a great night. Thank you very much. Thank you to the panel. Thank you to our fabulous panel. One and all. Thank you.
Campbell.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ted Raimi, Dana DiLorenzo, Cassandra Peterson, David Allen Greer, Kevin Pollak, Peaches Christ. I'm Dana Gould, Mr. Bruce Campbell. Thank you very much.